Ladies and gentlemen, that wasn't Afghanistan, that wasn't Pakistan, that wasn't Saudi Arabia, hell, that wasn't the Islamic Republic of Iran. That was our very own Dearborn, Michigan. And before you say, well, Brandon, Dearborn's been lost for a long time now, as if that makes it any better, well, it was also in Chicago. It was also in Houston. It was also in Zohran Mamdani's New York City. It was also in England. It was also in Australia. It was also in Germany. It was also in Denmark. And it's time for a serious conversation about how the left's unscrupulous, insatiable quest for power has threatened the very existence of America. And oh, okay, my misunderstanding. They're marching for justice and standing up against oppression. I'm just a closed-minded bigot. These are obviously good and noble virtues, so why would I be against this? Well, what they're celebrating and honoring is the Prophet Muhammad's grandson 1,400 years ago, starting the first jihad against heretics and
you, and me, and white Christians. Do you understand? Do you understand? These people are not here to be nice.
Non-believers. The oppression they're fighting against is Muslims having to live under the rules, customs, and laws of non-Muslims. The justice they're revering is killing non-Muslims, taking over their lands, and establishing Islamic caliphates, so Muslims are free from the tyranny of living under false laws and false religions. They don't mean secular justice or Christian justice or global universal justice. What they mean is through the purview of Islam, anything short of a global caliphate is oppression and injustice, and they are fighting against that.
A change in the school menu at Dearborn Public Schools is generating a side dish controversy.
The district now serves only halal meats that are...
This is ridiculous.
...to Islamic law.
A controversial vote by Hamtramck City Council
allow these people
will allow the religious sacrifice of certain animals under strict
This
conditions.
Is often practiced
absolutely against every value our country was founded on, and for 200 years at
Dave,
least.
this decision ultimately came down to the Supreme Court in a case from 30 years ago out of the city, a city in Florida that ruled that prohibiting religious animal sacrifice is actually a violation of the First Amendment.
They believe they're
A city in Florida that ruled that prohibiting religious animal sacrifice is actually a violation of the First Amendment.
They believe their value system must reign supreme at all cost, and dying for that cause is the highest commitment they can make to their religion. And the same children that your children and grandchildren go to school with were at these marches being indoctrinated in this violent, radical...
And this is why these people have nothing in common with you and me and the America we know from our founding fathers. And the First Amendment does not have the phrase freedom or separation of church and state. And thank God our administration is to finally explain that to the ignorant, like Don Lemon. It isn't to protect journalists, to disrupt church, or all the things you think. It is that the government cannot infringe upon my faith anywhere, in public, on the Capitol steps. It doesn't matter. That's what the law means. Public schools, public mail, anywhere public, I can preach the gospel. And they can't infringe upon me. That is what it means.
Ideology. These marches are nothing more than a show of dominance and intimidation.
That's
to
right.
let you know they're here and they have the numbers.
They
and
don't
that's
care
why you should
about
be highly
money.
concerned that the police chief of Dearborn is celebrating the Islamification of their police department.
This guy's an
The rights
idiot.
of all individuals.
Capitulating our cities to Muslims.
It's a department that is taking meaningful steps to address historical inequity. Together,
Horse shit.
The Islamic invasion has gained such prominence by weaponizing liberal buzzwords like equity, diversity, tolerance, oppression, and
freedom
justice.
of speech,
and
which
they've
I just
weaponized
explained
our
is
constitutional rights to
protection
freedom of
from the
assembly,
government
freedom of
for
speech,
your
and
own
freedom
faith.
of religion to openly advocate for the
They
destruction of the
misuse
United
it.
States from within. This coalition justifies terror.
They misuse that First Amendment. There is no separation of church and state. There's only your faith being protected from infringement from the U.S. government or any government. You can preach in public any faith on the goddamn Capitol steps. You understand me? This is why. This is how they do it.
You can literally see the results of their 1400-year battle against oppression and injustice right now. Ignorant and illiterate people wrongly depict Christianity as being the white man's religion, but it wasn't always that way. Most Middle Eastern countries were Christian until Islam came out of the Gulf and conquered all of them. Islam took over North Africa and then took over Spain and tried to take over the rest of Europe. It's an ideology that doesn't care about GDP, it doesn't care about economic growth, it doesn't care about freedom, equality, women's rights, modernization. It cares about one thing, which is establishing a global Islamic caliphate. It is a religion that sees martyrdom as the highest form of sacrifice. And
this is why Donald Trump is remiss. I voted for you 3 times. I shook your hand after the ice rink. You're being remiss because these people don't give a shit about money or economics. They'll dig down in the dirt like termites and wait and then come and kill us all. But we don't really have to have that happen. We are capitulating these huge cities and these huge masses of terrorist designated people, Hamas, in our country. I can't take it anymore.
Underestimated it, embraced it, and used it to gain political power, thinking they could contain it. But instead, it's employing the same strategy here in America that it used to take over Iran, partnering with useful idiots to try and overthrow the dominant power and culture and then slaughter its allies afterwards.
That's right.
And that's why the wokest politician in America, by far, is now getting violently threatened by the Muslims in his party.
That's right. Here they come.
He's Jewish. Who would have guessed?
Here they come.
Policy, and I think your policy on the genocide in Gaza, and I think your policy on the genocide in Gaza is terrible. I think you do not belong here. I think you do not belong here. You do not belong here, Scott.
Can you believe these fucking people? Palestine does not exist and it never has. God will not betray Israel. He won't betray the Jews. Ever.
So for those of you who don't know, that is Scott Wiener, who is by far the most disgustingly progressive candidate in America.
That's right.
He's also running to replace Nancy Pelosi in Congress,
That's
representing San Francisco.
They've got
the bill that made it legal.
They're in fucking trouble, the Democrats. And there is no Democratic socialist. And Social Security is a nickname from the Democrats for FICA, Federal Investment, Civilian Agency Program. It's my money and your money. I'm 65 years old. My money's coming back to me. It's Social Security is a fucking ridiculous nickname for FICA. We have no socialism programs in America. They call them social programs because there's a lot of people involved. It's our money that we already earned, unlike communism, that all the money is controlled and given a nickel here to everybody. There is not a resource on earth that's enough to share equally with all Americans, except dirt, not even water.
Bill that made it legal to knowingly give.
They don't care, Donald. They don't care.
To be naked in public, even in front of children. He's just the most nasty, despicable, degenerate politician we have. And he wrongly thought he was safe in the anti-Western civilization tent. But now he's finding out the most radical and violent part of his coalition hates him because he's Jewish, even if he's a champion of diversity. But they don't just hate him because he's Jewish, they also hate him because he's gay. And the left was absolutely shocked to find out that during the Iran and Egypt World Cup game in Seattle, they asked them to boycott pride flags. Iran wants FIFA to prevent any ceremonies or promotional activities in support of the LGBTQ community. Oh, shocker, the Muslims lied about tolerating your rampant sexual degeneracy. And Zohran Mamdani posted on X celebrating Muhammad's grandson kicking off the first jihad. Ashura is a time of remembrance, sacrifice, and reflection. Today, on the 10th day of Muharram, we are reminded of Imam Hussein's unwavering commitment to truth and dignity. His timeless legacy reminds us of the enduring values of faith, service to one another, and the belief that justice is always worth fighting for. Our city's strength comes from the many faith traditions that shape it and our shared struggle against injustice and oppression. May we carry these values forward as we continue building a more just city for every New Yorker. When Zoran says an unwavering commitment to truth, which truth do you think he's referring to? The truth that Jesus Christ is the Son of God? The truth that all men are created equally? Or do you think it's his very specific and violent brand of truth? Muslims in Christian countries demand tolerance and accommodation, but Christians in Muslim countries get absolutely none of that.
You won't see Christians ever doing this. And every war blamed on Christianity was from the Catholic Church. And the Pope, who's the other leg of the beast. One being Islam, the other being the Catholic Church. If you're in it, get out. If you want to know what the gospel really says, and I'm sure many of you have not even come close to reading this book, here, they're coming. Revelation 18. Read it about Babylon and the wicked woman of iniquity. Do you realize that these Islamic, all of them, not just the radicals, they don't care about anything. They strap bombs to themselves. When I was growing up, every freaking other month there was some crazy kid being forced to attach a bomb to himself to kill some American soldiers. I don't care if they think they're correct, and they aren't. This is the only true religion. And it's not even a religion, it's a faith. And you better take a look. Listen, I haven't paid for food in 2 years because I can't afford it really, and my neighbors feed me. All this music equipment has basically come to me through prayer. I'm a real, honest to God, salvation saint. I only want to wash the feet of the Lord. Don't you get it? It's not about us. It's not about you.
They demand religious freedom here, but offer no religious
It's about
freedom there.
the Lord.
They demand their freedom of speech here, but offer no freedom of speech there. Americans are falsely of the belief that all the religious wars are a thing of the past. That's
they're
what
not.
used to
It's
happen.
ongoing.
We're civilized now. And
Religious
so
war is
fine
ongoing.
to import millions of our ideological enemies into our own country. They'll behave
Unbelievable.
themselves. They'll
Just
respect our
unfreaking
secular
believable.
government and won't take
The
advantage of
ignorance.
it. They won't impose their customs and values on the rest of us.
Ignorance.
But even if they do,
You all need small
because
helmets to get on the
diversity
short
and modern
bus
religious war
to
is
go to
being forced
school.
on the West against the wishes
I'll
of
FedEx
the
you all
The
extra small
Islamification
helmets
of
if you need
England
them.
is basically a
I'll
running
even pay
joke
for
at this
the
point, and
shipping.
citizens are begging for it.
God help you.
Just yesterday, the government of Britain announced new safe and legal routes will open for refugees through community sponsorship, refugee study, and work routes. Numbers will start small
Look at this
and be
shit.
controlled, with strict screening and approved sponsors to ensure the system supports
Are
genuine
you kidding me?
refugees while preventing abuse. Numbers will start small and be controlled. The Western governments, which are completely controlled and captured, are forcing their citizens into a conflict.
32 by Lalani recognizing Pakistan Day at the state capitol.
We are buying these churches. We bought 3 churches so far, converted them to masjids.
See,
Now we have
we
one.
are capitulating. They don't care about money. They'll buy all the churches.
Make it, because we have to serve the same people.
Are you kidding me?
The people who
You
were
are allowing this.
part of that community, one day they will be Muslims. So we will make it into a masjid and an Islamic
You
school
understand what's
for our
happening?
children and their children, inshallah.
Whatever
And the
you
years ago,
believe,
they
this is
did
what
this
they
before.
believe.
And they built missionary
This is what
schools
they believe.
and destroyed
Whatever you
Islamic
believe,
schools
this
and
is what they believe.
Today, we bring the
They're
favor back.
going to
turn their
absolutely
churches
screw you in the ass.
and
You hear me?
schools into Islamic schools.
They are
Bring the
going
light
to
of Islam
take
people.
America
We're
apart.
able to buy
And guess
educate
what? The gospel says
institutions
so.
that have been there
It's
for a
too
long
late,
time.
people.
They emptied out.
He's
Now it is time to be
around
filled
the corner.
with Muslims.
Our
Great
Lord
converts.
is coming in
This is an election
on the
year.
clouds, and he's almost
We're not going to
here.
be happy with either candidate.
These people
We
take
have
over.
to
The
be
humiliation
happy
you
with
will
Islam
suffer when they take over for
becomes
3.5 years
the best
under the
candidate
false
for us.
peace from the little
I ask
horn,
Allah subhanahu wa
and then the
ta'ala
Mahdi rides
to
in
give
with his
Islam
bow and arrow because he doesn't need a weapon.
victory
He
in this
only
country.
needs you to capitulate, and that's what the gospel says you all do. But don't quit trying
If it can happen in
to
Texas,
fight
it can happen
these
anywhere. There are two parties in
warlords.
government right now: the party that wants to save America and the party that wants to destroy America. And every other issue
That's
is
it, baby.
downstream of those competing
That's it.
ideologies.
Save it
Democrats are finally starting to
or
wake
destroy
up
it.
at the communist
It's
takeover of
time
their
you
party, and hopefully they're starting
decide.
to wake up at the Islamic
And the
takeover
Save
of their
America
party.
Act
And
is
my
the only
message to
way,
every
goddammit, it's the
American
only
is
way.
this: it doesn't matter how you feel.
85% of all Americans.
If you love your country. If
John
you want it
Thune,
to
you should be
survive,
fired
if you
immediately.
want your children and
You're a liar. The
grandchildren to
mathematics
grow up in a
do
country
work
that
with
is
J.D. Vance.
recognizable.
You
need to vote
moron.
aggressively for
John Thune, you're a
politicians who are willing to
piece of
stop.
living shit.
Politicians who believe as
A
Americans,
living
we're allowed
shitbag
to disagree. We're
full
allowed
of
to
shit
have different
from
opinions. But what
all
we're
the
not
toilets
going to allow
around
is
in American cities,
ideologies to flourish
particularly
that want to conquer and oppress us. It will
Democrat
not be
toilets
easy getting ourselves
and their
out of this
creature
mess,
crap.
But every one of us needs to channel the bravery.
You're a fucking
the strength,
asshole,
and the
Thune.
courage of
Someone
our
needs to
founders
tell you.
who stared down the most powerful empire
Fuck
in the
you,
world
Thune.
and realized it is
Come
our
and get
turn to fight
me.
and
Fuck
sacrifice to
you.
save this country.
You
But let me
piece
know what
of
you guys
fucking
think down in the
shit.
comment section below.
Lindsey
If you
Graham,
enjoyed the
you're
video,
no
make sure you hit
better.
that like button.
You
Make
little
sure
fairy.
subscribe to the channel if you haven't
Women's
already.
underwear.
Turn on those notifications.
You see the
so
people you
never
picked to
miss
lead
a
us?
video.
Are you out of your minds?
And I will see you guys in the next one.
Just give it away, why don't you? Not me, not my children.